Hello and welcome to Pale Moon Ranch. I'm Jerry, and this is part 3 in my series on designing an acoustic guitar in Fusion. An acoustic guitar featuring a variable angle on the headstock, a variable angle on the heel. Today we're going to finish up the neck, starting with the heel transition. We're going to create all the geometry and create this heel transition. And then we're going to design the headstock veneer. And after that, we're going to add the heel cap. I believe after the heel cap, we will we'll cut in the truss rod slot. If I turn off this, we'll cut in the slot for this truss rod. Then we will bring in all of the other components, the nuts, the bolts, the hanger bolts, the washers, the truss rod, the nut, and the tuners, and we'll get those all installed and jointed. So that's it. So with that, I'd like to just say that the heel transition is based on Austin Shainer's video on the perfect heel transition. Mine is a little different, but not much. I approach the drawing a little differently than Austin does because I've added that variable angle to it. So the angle of this face on the guitar on mine can be changed from 0 to whatever you want. I mean, within reason. You know, I would say something between 1.5 and 3 would be normal, but I'll leave that to you. If you try to do too much of a change, you definitely will break the model. So with that said, let's get started. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to back my timeline up to the heel transition. So this is where we left off, where we had created the headstock and the body. We'd actually had converted this, stitched it together into a full body, but we've eliminated that stitching at this point in order to work off of this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a plane on angle. Let's turn on some sketches. So this is the fretboard link that we created before that brings up fret 14, fret 15, the end of the fretboard, or beginning of the sound hole, and the end of the transition. You know, another thing we're going to be using here is that profile that we created right there. And I think that might be it. And then we're going to start creating sketches to create this. Okay. For now, we don't need that neck profile, so I'm going to turn that off. So what I've done is I've created a plane on angle on the 14th fret. And I chose the 14th fret because that's where I want my neck transition to join to the body, is at the 14th fret, and that's pretty typical of an acoustic guitar. But if you got something else in mind, you would choose which fret you wanted to project here and create that plane on angle on that. Now that plane on angle, we're going to draw our heel transition, our heel face on that, and we'll be able to adjust that plane through a parameter to change the angle of our neck. So I have defined that as my parameters. Let's bring in our parameter file because we're going to be needing that. Change parameters, and we've got our heel angle parameter right here. Okay. Let's go back to our guitar. So as I said, that that plane is defined by heel angle, and we can change the angle of the heel just by changing that parameter. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a couple of sketches that are just helper construction lines. The first one, I'm going to on that angle, the plane that I just created, I'm going to draw this. Where is it? Here we go. Open that up. I'm going to get rid of my bodies for the time being. Turn those off. And I'm going to turn off that plane as well. So what I did here is I projected in that 14th fret, and then from the midpoint of that 14th fret I've drawn a line, and I've set that line to the length of my heel height. So that's the height of my heel to the cap, the heel cap, not including the heel cap. So I've defined that as I believe 3.5 inches. Okay, and we're going to make that a construction line. I don't think I need to redraw this for anybody. It's just a straight line, horizontal, 3.5 inches, or my parameter for heel height. Okay. Finish that sketch, and then I'm going to create another helper construction line. On this one, I'm going to bring in my my body, my left and right body, and I'm going to project in. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to project in this line right here. Actually, if I turn off my right body, that's probably easier to see. So I'm going to project in that center line of my neck is what I'm going to do. And from the end of the where the heel transition begins, I'm going to draw a line that joins with my horizontal line that I created, and I'm going to make that concentric to this line. So let me open up that sketch for you. So here's my concentric constraint off of this line that we projected in. Okay, so I've got those two lines. Turn my bodies back off for now. And the next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to create my heel face. Oh, I guess I got to bring this over to do that, huh? I'm bringing my heel face, which looks like this. Let me open up that sketch. Yeah, lots of numbers and stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new sketch file and redraw this so you can see how I created it. Let's finish sketch there, and let's do a new sketch, and we want to make sure we're on that plane. Construction plane, heel angle. Okay. And we're going to we'll turn off this other one, this heel face. So first thing we need to do is some projections. So I'm going to turn on my fretboard link, tip that a little bit. I'm going to turn on my two helpers that I created. Okay, so I'm going to project in that horizontal, that vertical construction line that was in our helper file. I'm going to project in from my fretboard link. I want to project in the 14th fret, and then I also want to project in this point on the end of that other helper line, with the horizontal helper line we created. Okay, got all three of those, project them in, and then I can turn those sketches back off. Okay, and then we'll square this up, So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line down here at the bottom, and I'm going to set that to my heel cap width, which is 1 inch. And I'm going to make that midpoint to the bottom of that projected in line. Next, I'm going to do a 3-point arc. This is going to define. This is the extension of the body taper or angle. If that makes sense, I hope it does. By doing a 3-point arc and to this point, that's that helper that we created that was a concentric from the bottom line of the body, so it extended it out, maintaining that angle. Okay, so we have that. I think we're going to make that a construction line. Let's turn this other one back on so I can see what I did over there. Let's delete that for a minute. Turn this on. Yeah, that's a construction line. Sorry. I did this 2 years ago, so I can't remember every little detail. So let's undo that and get that back and make that a construction line. Then we're going to create 2 more arcs. A 3-point arc, we're going to go from here to here. And we want to make it, I don't know if you can see right here, we're going to make that tangent to that. Then we're going to come over here and do the same thing. Bring it down here and make it tangent. Doesn't look like our tangency held over here, so let's go set that to tangent. There we go. That's fully constrained. So that's our basic shape. We need to put in the geometry for the tenon. So I'm just going to come up here and put a line here, down, not worrying too much about any. In fact, I don't want it to put any constraints on right now. I just want them to be, so I'm not going straight down to where it puts a constraint on. What are you doing? There. Okay. And then I'm going to do another 3-point arc down here. 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 And I want it to be on that center line. And I want it to be tangent. Looks like we got a tangent on one side and not the other. So let's go make that tangent. Okay. Then we're going to make these 2 lines horizontal. Then we're going to set the radius on this circle to our tenon width. Half our tenon width, which would be our tenon radius. Down here, tenon radius. Okay. Doesn't look like my circle got consent, so we're going to make this coincident to that line, which I thought we were. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to set a I'm going to set the distance from here to here. Why isn't it let me select that? Here to here. There we go. It's going to be our tenon height minus our tenon radius. Okay, so that fully constrained that. I think the last thing we need to do is put in our holes where our hanger bolts go. So we'll drop a circle on here. We're going to make that 0.20. You'd want to make that, whatever hanger bolts you use, which I would use the 3/8. Actually, what did I do there? I didn't get the dimension. 0.2. And then we're going to set the location of those. So this one is bolt 1, tenon bolt position 1, and this one will be bolt 2. And I believe that's it. If we turn this guy on, oh no, it's not it. We need another helper line here that's an extension of this arc. So the way I did that is I'm just going to select this line, go modify, extend, and I'm going to extend that. Okay. And I only need it to be about an inch. Oh, and the first thing I want to break this as well. So I'm going to break this so that it's separate from this other one. I'm going to change that to not construction line. And I'm going to set a dimension on that of 1 inch. Or a 1/2 inch actually. Okay? Okay, now I think that's it. Again, let's bring up our original drawing, just make sure I didn't miss anything. So I've turned on my original drawing, turned off my old one, turn on my new one. Yeah, they look like they match up pretty well. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to get out of this, and I'll go ahead and delete that sketch we just created. And we have this. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our profile. Back over here and turn on our heel profile. That's this. And this is different from the way Austin did it. Austin drew the side profile first, then drew the back, but he wasn't dealing with this angle on plane out here, and getting that to actually work to where you could modify it. It actually took a long time for me to figure that out, but I did. But I had to draw it in this order to get it to work. So what I'm going to do here is turn that off. We need some projections here. We're going to want to bring our body back in. Well, here again, I'm going to create a new sketch again, and this is just on your center plane, down the middle. And going to trying to make sure of what I've got here. I've got a projection of this line. My two helper lines I've got projected in, and then I've got this point up here projected in. I think I have this whole line projected in, so let's go do that. Let's turn off the original one. Let's bring in our two helpers, and we're going to need our body again. So I'm going to project this line. Move that out of the way. I'm going to project this line, and I'm going to project this line. And then I'm going to turn those things back off. Turn off my helpers. So I've got this. If we go back and look at what the other one looks like, We've got that. We're going to draw in these two lines here is basically what we're going to do. I'm going to finish sketch there, and I'm going to open the other sketch so we can see that I've dimensioned this. I've got this parallel. I've got this perpendicular, and I've got this tangent and a perpendicularity here. Okay. Not sure why I need that line actually. Okay, well, so turn off helper 2 and finish this, and let's open back up our sketch we started, and let's go ahead and draw this line for our heel cap. This is our depth that we want here, okay, and we want it, you see here, we're going to get it perpendicular, okay. Then we're going to draw a line from here up, and we want that to be, what happened? That's weird. You ever seen that? You see that? That's kind of weird. We're going to grab there, and we're going to go up, and we want that to be horizontal. Okay, so we did that. Then we're going to do another 3-point arc. We're going to go from here to here, and we want that to be tangent up here and tangent down here. So we're going to grab this, grab that, and make a tangent. And that should look pretty much like our other sketch. So if we bring the other one in on top of it, turn this one off, we've got that and that. So the next thing we need to do is we need to do the geometry for our heel cap. So the first thing is to put a plane on angle. Oops, finish that sketch. Put a plane on angle on this line at 0 degrees. So 0 degrees, that gives us a plane that's 90 degrees to that angle for our heel face. Then we're going to sketch on that plane, and that sketch looks like this. Oops, that's not the way I wanted to go. Here we go. Oh, and then I want to flip it around. It should be this way. Okay. Okay. That's our heel cap shape. Now this is very pointy here, but later we're going to put a fillet in here that will round this out real nice. So we have our heel cap, plus we have these two helper lines that we're going to use in our, when we do the surfacing, when we do our surface modeling. So like before, I'm going to create a new sketch on that plane. Let's turn on that plane right there. Flip it back over. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this one off so that I can show you how I drew that. So we need some projections. We're going to need to project off the heel face, the heel profile, and off the fretboard. So we need this line to project. We need this line at the bottom side of the face profile, and off of this we need this point right out here, right there, that point. I'm going to turn the line off because I don't need the line, I just need the point. And then I need the 15th fret. So with all those projections in, I'll turn off all of those other sketches, and we have this. So on this, what we're going to do is draw a construction line up and across and down to here. And then what we want to do is we want to make this parallel, horizontal, I'm sorry, and then constrain it to the mid plane of, we're going to constrain this dot to the mid plane of that line. And that gives us full constraint on that. So then what we're going to do is some more 3-point arcs. We're going to go here to here, and we want to make it tangent to this down here, so we're going to bring that out until we see that tangency, and then we got it. We're going to do the same over here, come up to that point, and we want to see that tangency right there. Okay, so we got that. It's fully constrained. And then we just need to add our helper lines that we need, so we're going to go to Modify, Extend, and we're going to extend that line. It automatically extended it to this line. We're going to extend it a second time to get it out to that line. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to extend this line, and it will automatically extend to that 15th fret. And that's it for this sketch. If we bring in our original heel cap and turn that on, we can see that it pretty much matches exactly what we had there. Okay. So finish that sketch, and then I'm going to delete it because it's a duplicate, so delete that. And now we have all of our architecture that we need. We've got our heel cap, we've got our heel profile, our heel face, our helper lines, and that's it. That's all of our geometry. We need one more sketch before we can start doing our surfacing. We need to do a sketch on this line here. So we are going to, and that line is our it's our top plane, so we don't need to add a plane for that. So the sketch, let me delete all these so we can see what we're doing. And let's rotate this. Okay, so we need to create this. This is a helper line that is going to be used in our surface modeling. And then this part of the sketch is just some geometry we're going to use to do an extrusion later. That I'll explain both of these when we get to them. For the time being, let's just get them drawn. Or I'm not even going to draw them, I'm just going to show you. What we needed to do is we needed to we need our heel face, and we need our 15th fret, so we need the fret link. So what we want to project in on this is this line off of the heel face across here, and then we need to project in this point at the end of the 15th fret. I'm going to delete this line so you can see that. So maybe not. Oh, I can't delete that line. What am I thinking? I need to delete this line, not that line. I can't grab it. Okay, so turn that off, delete that, and you can see I have that point projected right there. Okay, so that makes sense. Undo that, and then we're going to draw this, and you see I've got horizontal constraints on each side, and I have a perpendicular constraint on this corner, and that's all I need except for this dimension, which is the tenon depth. Okay, and that's it for that sketch. At this point, we are ready to start our surface modeling. Okay. Now this part follows Austin's video pretty closely, I believe, in how to model this. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to do this loft. And what that looks like is, what we want to do is we want to loft from this line to this line and use this line here, the side of the fretboard, as a rail. Okay, so you can see how that's set up. Next thing we're going to do is, and this is just a helper surface, we're going to use these surfaces that we're creating to create the final shape of the heel. Austin does a great job of explaining this, so I would definitely watch his video on how he models the heel transition, and it'll look just like this, but he will explain it a little bit better, a little differently. Now there might be some differences, again related to the angled neck might have caused me to do things a little bit differently. I'm not really sure what all might be different there at this point, but you know, you can watch it and compare it to what I've done, and you know, do what works best for you. So this loft was from that helper surface line we created, okay, that line I just talked about, to this helper that we created on the heel, that little curve here, the one that goes down to the 15th fret, and we're going to use this vertical angled, this arc as a rail, and create that one. And then we're going to create another one over here on the other side, here. And what this one is we're going to use we turn off our sketch. Turn off a sketch. We're going to use this surface, not the drawn line, but the body, as profile 1. We're going to use the curve up here at the top, this other, on the other side, that I'm sorry, not the other side. We're going to use that heel shape as the top profile, and then we're going to use that line here as a rail. Okay, and so now we have these three surfaces that we're going to do a patch on. So we'll patch, and I'm going to do that rather than well, I can show you what the patch is, and then we'll back up and do it. You can see we got edge 1, edge 2, edge 3, edge 4. These are all off of our surfaces, and then we use curve is the other side of the heel to finish it. Okay, so cancel that, back it up, and we'll set that up. We're going to go to our surface modeling and do a patch. So we're going to select this edge first, edge 1. You should turn off the I'm going to clear that. Actually, I'm going to cancel that. Turn off the sketches, so you make sure you're getting what you want. Get this edge, get this edge, this edge, this edge. Turn back on your sketch, and we need we need the heel cap, and then we're going to select this curve. There, curve 5, and there you see we have our patch. Okay, then we're going to delete all of these helper surfaces. Okay, and then we're going to mirror this to the other side. So we're going to grab this, we're going to go create, mirror. We got this selected, and we're going to choose our mirror plane as this. No, not that. As this. Yeah. And say OK. And there. Now we have our shape here. And again, this is pointy right here right now, but we're gonna put a fillet on that in a bit that'll fix that up. Once we have that mirror, then we're going to patch up. So we're gonna select the bottom, we're gonna select the end cap, and we're gonna select this back side here, and we're going to patch all that up and close it up. Oops, I did something wrong. Okay, so now it's closed up as a solid body. I'm going to turn off the right and left. I don't really remember why I did what I did, but we're going to re-loft the body in here as a single body. I think I must have been having trouble with the internal lines, so I can't recall exactly why that was a problem before, but now this time I don't have that triangular shape in here. I'm going to loft strictly from this to this. But first I'm going to create the tenon, so I'm going to loft that out, and then that's where this other little helper surface comes in. If we look real close here, you see this is angled away from the top of the neck, and we want that to be flat. So that sketch we created, the heel helper, we're just going to extrude that to object right here. Okay, so we're going to select that, and we're going to extrude it to object, and the object we selected is that point on that corner, and we're going to do a join, and now that will flatten that out so it continues flat along that line. Okay, when we extruded out the tenon, we left the holes out of the extrusion, so that leaves those holes in place for us. All right, now we have everything, and we're going to extrude the body. And you see we just went from here to here, just 2 profiles, and now we have a solid neck. Stitch it together, and we got a solid, and then we're going to join the tenon to it, combine, and then we're going to put a fillet on here to round it out. And we can look at it and see, I think it looks pretty good. When we cross over that line, if we get the light on it, there might be a tiny little pinch right there. And again, I mean, if you're really worried about that, I mean, that's you're going to be sanding this thing anyway. You're going to sand out that little peak if it is there. This makes a pretty nice looking transition. So that's that. So now what we want to do is we want to test out our angle here. So let's turn off our sketches. We just have our fretboard here. Let's get it perfectly straight. Okay, so we're going to be watching this angle here. We're going to go over to our parameters. We're going to modify headstocking, not headstock angle. We want a heel angle. Now that angle is on the horizontal plane, so it's not going to be 0, 1, 2. It's going to be from 90, and we want it to come back, so it's going to be minus to get it to come back. So right now it's set at minus 1.5 degrees, or minus 88.5 degrees. So to test this, we're going to first let's go to 90 and make it flat and see if this works. Oops, what did I? Just call me 5 thumbs. Okay, we're going to go 90. And then we're going to save this. go over here. We're going to do an update up here on top to update our parameters, and we're going to watch this. It broke. What happened? Oh, it broke because I put in 90. It should be minus 90, I think. So let's go back and do that again. Oh yeah, so undo that. Let's go back to our parameters. And let's go this time and make it minus 90. And let's see if that works better. Okay, and now let's update the parameters, and this should go straight up and down now. There you go. Should probably zoom in on that, huh? Okay, so now let's try going the other way. And let's set it to minus 85 and go 5 degrees. Pretty sure 87 would probably be as far as anybody would ever want to go, but this will show that you got the latitude you want. Okay, and go refresh. We're going to watch this line, and it should come back to 5 degrees. And there it is. If we want, we can now go and test and make sure that when we change the angle on our headstock that it doesn't break anything. So we're going to go change parameters, and we're going to change the headstock from 11 degrees to, say, let's go to 15 degrees, minus 15. Save that and go back and update, and we should see this come down to 15 degrees. And hopefully this doesn't break down here when that happens. And it didn't. Okay, one last test. We'll take it back to, we'll take the headstock angle to, we'll go to 0 maybe and see, just make sure that it doesn't break. So instead of minus 15, we'll go to 0. And save that. Can't imagine anybody wanting a 0 on an acoustic guitar, but maybe there's a reason. I don't know. There you have it. Flat headstock, still got your angle, nothing's broken. So it all seems to be working pretty well. Okay, so that's the end of the heel transition. We're going to undo all those parameter changes. Let's go there and then go here. Oops, save it. And update it. And we're back to our minus 11 on the head and minus 1.5 on the neck. I mean on the heel. Okay, so that's that. The next thing we're going to work on is the veneer that goes on here. So I'll be right back. Well, the heel transition took a little longer than I thought it would, and this is getting pretty long. So I'm going to do a part 4 that will take care of all of the finishing details on the neck. So see you there.